Normal people with a time machine. I'm your great grandson. No, you are not. Chads with a time machine. We have a bigger one made of glass in Memphis, Tennessee. There is a Bass Pro shop inside. This Bass Pro shop must be a powerful king. But Mayor, we really want to work together with you. Why? Yeah, why? Exit. Renault. Looking at the list of countries that didn't commit war crimes. It's blank. John D. Rockefeller having to pay a tax rate of 79%. What happened to her? She got to the bit where they assassinated Aurelian. Odysseus when he is just trying to get home to his wife, but he keeps getting sent on random ass detours. King Jolene, how long is this going to take? I need some pikes. For fish hunting, right? Yeez. Actually make 17th century defense strategy like a boss. Pike time. First Gulf War. Assemble. Plus 27 other countries. Iraq. NB. Gene Roddenberry. You can't have a nation, woman, African American, or Russian as a lead in your show. No. NB. Gene Roddenberry. But I can cancel your show. I don't care. NB. Gene Roddenberry. That doesn't make any sense. Too bad. Hitler. Hitler with boobs. Where's a hot topic? Who the fuck are you people? I thought I hired goths. Plundern, Upton, Veriton. Who the fuck are you people? I thought I hired goths. Other people, oh my god, my ancestors were nobles of House Beerbretson. Meanwhile my ancestors. About midnight on the 17th of May, Osbert Lewis, son of William Crustamer Savelsto, who was drunk and disgustingly overfed, came from Bedford towards his house. When he arrived at his house he had the falling sickness, fell upon a stone on the right side of his head, breaking the whole of his head, and died by misadventure. My face when I escaped from jail on the main gate without anyone stopping me because they thought I was just visiting. I love seeing people smile at their phones in public. Have they received happy news? Is it a text from a loved one perhaps? What could be instilling such joy in that moment? Ottoman-Safavid war finally ends with the Treaty of Constantinople. Monarchs when they draw out a losing war until the opposing monarch dies and gets succeeded by an incompetent pacifist. Soldiers, okay Moses, what does God want us to do with these hostages? Moses. 17 Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that hath known man by lying with him. 18 But all the women children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. Soldiers. After the United States leaves Vietnam, China launches full-scale blitz invasion on all of Vietnam's territories. I'm gonna do what's called a pro-gamer move. Odysseus worrying if Penelope is still faithful to him, right after having sex with half of the Olympus. Man, I wish I was more like that guy. But he probably wishes he was more like somebody else too. Holy shit, I'm glad I'm me. I'm especially glad I'm not that guy. The British Empire. Opium. China. Some Canadian guy waking up to a commotion on December 6, 1917. Hemingway after getting blown up, shooting himself twice, hunting U-boats, surviving 2 plane crashes, and drinking enough to have a cocktail named after him. I didn't hear no bell. We'll fire up on your ships as revenge for the women you took. Have you seen our new hull decorations, samurai? Beware of the pipeline. Religious movement. Secret societies. Anti-king rebels. Government assassins. Organized crime. 9th-14th century. 17th-18th century. 19th century. 1912 to 1948. 1948, present. What about our breakfast? You had breakfast before taking off. Yes. Take off from London at 9 AM Greenwich Mean Time. But what about our after landing breakfast? Land at New York City at 8 AM Eastern Standard Time, Greenwich Mean Time -4. A Guide to Southeast Asia in the 1970s. Likes China. Thailand. Cambodia. Likes communism. Hates communism. Vietnam. Philippines. Hates China. Adolf Hitler. Benito Mussolini. Francisco Franco. Oswald Mosley. Academics speculating wildly on the whereabouts of Hitler's secretary Martin Bormann for decades, including theorizing that he escaped to South America. Bormann's body being found in Indiana 197 less than a mile from the Führer bunker. San Marino is the only true successor to the Roman Empire. Change my mind. The Los Angeles police requesting aid to battle the North Hollywood bank robbers. City of Los Angeles founded 1781 police. Guns. Lots of guns. Get a cool ass nickname The Witcher. Everyone thinks you are magic. Declare war on Novgorod and Kiev to establish Polotsk as a regional power. You successfully conquer Novgorod and go south next. You lost the battle and got captured by Kievan princes during peace talks. Year later, Kiev citizens overthrow the princes and establish you as a new prince of Rus. Maximum Planck, honey, I just discovered the smallest possible length in the universe. What should I name it? Mary Merck, Planck length. Maximum Planck. Pope Clement VII, oh no. Germans are attacking Rome. How am I supposed to survive this? The 189 in the service of heaven. I knew it. You two are sodomites. Actually, this soldier is my wife in disguise. So technically we have committed no crime. I guess. Relying on enslaving pagan Slavs. Caliphate of Cordoba. Duchy of Bohemia. Operation Praying Mantis, the 18th of April 1988. US losses and casualties. Iranian losses and casualties. The Sami B hits a naval mine, but survives. The Samuel B. Robert. Half of their navy. 2 oil platforms. A strike aircraft. 56 personnel lost. Joe DiMaggio on May 15th, 1941, records a hit in a baseball game. Joe DiMaggio for the next 55 games. Wanna see me do it again? Sarah Bush Lincoln, when she saw her stepson Abraham somehow left muddy footprints on the ceiling. Actually, I'm not even mad. That's hilarious. When the Americans try to overthrow Castro, so you as a Cuban are led by an Argentinian Marxist to fight the Belgians and South African-backed Rhodesian in Angola alongside rogue Black Panther members because Mayor Frank Rizzo dropped a bomb in Philadelphia. You are from Europe, but we do not grant you the rank of white. This is outrageous, it's unfair. Surrender. We have you outnumbered 60-1. No. France sent US sailors to slow US down. It will be quickly folded in 2 days. GBOREN Zoot turn. 3 weeks later. They weren't very durable. We can finally return to Brittany. The entire Guangdong army. 2 undersupplied Japanese divisions breaking into a small town. Napoleon. Beethoven. I used to kiss the ground you walked on, but now I wouldn't even spit in your direction. 1936 U.S. election. 4 more years of the New Deal. Don't campaign for the 2 months. Which message will resonate with voters? The president can't influence the economy. Soldiers of the King's African Rifles, whenever they saw a Japanese soldier with a sword or flag. Mine. 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 New fruit gets discovered. Bites into it. This is disgusting. The guy who figured out to take the skin peel etc off first. Good day, gentlemen. I'm here to change the future. Poff, you're in the Canadian prairies in the 1890s going to visit your new neighbors. Genghis Khan. Hey, Khwarezmian Empire. Khwarezmian Empire. Huh. Genghis Khan. Try raiding my trade caravans and executing my envoys now, you fucking stupid bastard. AWW, what a cute bear. Wouldn't hurt a fly. I sure wonder how it came to the zoo. Those damn Chinese bastards. Get to the bunker, boys. It's an artillery attack. What the hell is that noise? Cavemen, I wish there was a good source of meat and other goods that will eat our junk and get rid of pests around us. These guys, say no more. Chileans in 1988. You're finished. No please. China in 1950. Tibet is annexed, but it is to liberate the Tibetan people. Also China. Our resources. I'm the most debauched and degenerate emperor. No, I'm the most unhinged emperor. Amateurs. What was that, punk? Amateurs. So, are you like, gay or something? What? What pride flag is that? The Cold War sums up. Vidman. USSR. Mujahideen. USA. I can't believe the American government would test mustard gas on their soldiers. United Kingdom. United Kingdom. You can't judge Columbus by our modern standards. People during Columbus' own time. Motherfucker is crazy. Sparta after applying to Philip II's invasion threat with, if. Sparta after Philip invades and cripples their empire to irrelevance. The conquistadors discovering Aztec human sacrifice. People living in the Danube regions in 562 being invaded by the Avars. What are you doing, step bro? John F. Kennedy Cuban exiles invading the Bay of Pigs. Fidel Castro. Russian missiles. Gabriel Fallopio exists, made an early version of condom earning the title father of modern condoms, defeating the threat of the syphilis. The term fallopian tubes came from his name. He even named the reproductive organs we now know of as vagina and clitoris. The Jews cucked Russia by introducing Christianity and its morality of capital. What? Are you a socialist? Nah, that's a Jewish conspiracy too. Which is why I decided to return to Slavic tradition. Look. I made this idol of Perun, god of war and death. Wanna pray with me? Tukhachevsky, what the fuck are you talking about? Dutch people on August 20th, 1672 enjoying a hearty meal of roasted liver. Confederate soldier hesitating to turn over his weapon as part of the surrender terms. Come on Billy Jackoff, take my gun from me. Ottomans. No. You don't understand. The Armenians are all troublemakers. That's why we have to kill all of the men, women, and children. King Hussein bin Ali. We specifically bring to the world's condemnation the atrocities committed against the Greeks and Armenians, atrocities that our holy law can only disapprove of. Never fight uphill, me boys. Never fight uphill. Wow, that was a big mistake, Robert E. Lee. How men used to dress for formal occasions. Western Europe, 1702-3. Suit, c. 1730. The open coat and vest buttoned only at the waist offer a look at a man's t-shirt of the period, made of white linen and trimmed with a narrow ruffle along the center, front placket. Instead of a cravat, this man wears a stock, a stiffened fabric band that tied or was buckled around the neck, which was in fashion from the 1720s until near the end of the century. Matching suit. C. 1725. This man wears a matching 3-piece cloth suit. Its modest gold braid trim renders it relatively informal. His coat has stiffened side pleats and is only slightly longer than his vest, and his large, turned back cuffs, called boot cuffs, are in the latest style. Bagwig and solitaire. C. 1725. These gentlemen illustrate the front and back of the bagwig that came into fashion in the mid 1720s. The long ends of the contrasting vest. C. 1715. This man's semi-formal red silk suit, embroidered or braided in gold, contrasts with the vest. How men dress for formal occasions. Now, when you get sent to fight France for the third time in 60 years. At Shees, jets jet as we lows. Everyone should be free. Let's free those civilians from those wagons. Click. A collaborator with his family? Such a shame. Click. Inside you there are two wolves. Medieval Europe was a holy paradise. Medieval Europe was a miserable shithole. Both are stupid. Charles II of House Habsburg. Your family practices inbreeding for centuries. Cleopatra 7. And you turn out a symbol of elegance, brilliance, and sex appeal. My family does it, and I turn out a big jaw freak. Doesn't seem fair. What makes you think you can be an officer in the Swiss army? I once commanded a regiment of another nation's army in battle. Yeah, so. It was the 82nd Illinois Infantry Regiment of the Union Army at the Battle of Gettysburg. Right this way, Major. Being a socialist, pro-women's rights, and abolitionist that criticized Lincoln for being too moderate on slavery. Being supported by the Democrats for president in 1872 because he wasn't Grant. Or Ace Greeley. The Americans hoping to take Quebec City. Guy Carleton, who allegedly sent all the sick prostitutes to the American camp so the soldiers would get smallpox. You could have stopped this in Ethiopia. But you let it happen to yourselves. Capital is dead labor, which vampire, like, lives only by sucking, live labor. Carol, if only you made capital, instead of just writing about it. Karl Marx. Henriette Pressburg, Karl Marx's mom. Most breakaway nations' relationships with their original country. You are wretched traitors who deserve nothing less than death. No. You are a tyrannical empire that needs to be overthrown. King George III and John Adams. We hate France, do you? Yes. Trotsky and Stalin fight over who is going to be Lenin's successor. Lenin in his last testament. Kids, you are both just awful. But what about Chicken Kyiv speech? George H.W. Bush was excellent at foreign policy and a skilled diplomat who oversaw end of Cold War. Aliens observing the Earth, circa 1810. Why does Kamehameha, the largest Earth monarch, not simply eat the others? British government. If Alan Turing wanted to pursue that lifestyle, he should have done so quietly. Julius Caesar. I'm not a king. We're a republic. I just have this Republican office of supreme power for life. Basically every Cold War dictator. Write that down. Write that down. Jews living in pagan nations. Pagan drones attack. Jews living in Christian nations. Christian drones attack. Jews living in Muslim nations. Muslim drones attack. Most insane events in history make a lot more sense when you realize that they were done by people with lead poisoning and severe childhood trauma. Skeletor will come back next week with more disturbing facts. Alexander the Great may have had Guillain-Barré syndrome, explaining why his body didn't decompose for 6 days after his death. Then he might have been alive and cognizant during the mummification process. Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. Pre-Columbian farmers in southern Mexico. They're the same picture. Rollo the Walker. Charles the Simple. I'm gonna give you northern France to fuck off and defend US from other Viking raids. The Allies marching into Paris. Napoleon defeating them 4 times in 6 days. I'm gonna get close to this group of humans. What's the worst that can happen? Thousands of years later. Nero never killed himself. What? He faked his own death and converted to Judaism. He then moved to Israel and was the father of great rabbis. Talmud, what the fuck are you talking about? Japanese military during World War II forces thousands of women into being comfort girls for troop morale. The US. Dairy Queen. Soft drink. Drive-through. Enzo Ferrari, what would attract a builder like you know about sports cars? Ferruccio Lamborghini. Cowabunga it is. France occupying Swedish Pomerania, Indiana 1812. Why did Bernadette Sweden declare war on France? How do you keep getting not guilty verdicts? John Gotti. The secret ingredient is witness intimidation. Superweapon arms race. Germany. USA. A slightly larger tank. A portable star. Every human civilizations when they came across some blocks of limestone in a desert. AWB members after apartheid ends and 3 of their comrades are executed on live television. Nothing makes sense anymore. Yeah, I know, it's definitely not a good time to be an artsy. Eastern Bloc countries getting independence. Russian Federation. All of you, get out. Except you stay. Kazakhstan, for 4 days. If you're having a bad day, remember that in 16th century Baltic Germans dressed like this. Belgium's African history. Belgium's European history. King William, listen guys, can you subtly imply I'm a better ruler than my dumbest dad in those accounts you write? I'll pay you. Chroniclers, say no more. William I the Bad 1154 to 1166. 1121 son of Roger II and Elvira of Castile. William II the Good 1166 to 1189. 1155 son of William I and Margaret of Navarre. Abandon a sinking ship full of passengers. Tell everyone the passengers attacked the crew and you barely escaped. The ship didn't sink. The ship didn't sink. Napoleonic France exists Britain for some reason. I'll never forgive the Danish. Athenians trying to go about their lives. Socrates. I think I will cause problems on purpose. Hello India, do you know this symbol? Oh, it's the swastika, a symbol of prosperity and good luck. Why do you ask? Ugh, look at that swastika bearing Nazi. What an evil symbol. Why Germany, why? Who would win? One of the greatest war strategic of all time. The master of trolling. Well designed and common fort style. Tartarians. Who are you? Bloody Sunday. Do you have the slightest idea how little that narrows it down? Love for potatoes. Terrorism. Alcoholism. Britain, if you don't mind, I'm a little busy right now responding to Russian mobilization. By sending 7 of your 8 field armies to invade France through Belgium. No, through careful diplomacy focused on preventing a regional war between Austria and Serbia from spiraling out of control and into a world war whose repercussions will still be causing more conflict over a century from now, of course, by invading France through Belgium. We fought for our rights and property. Which, no offense, includes you. The King of Belgium resigning for 1 day in 1990 so that abortion would be permitted. Catholic bishops. Is that legal? The Confederates weren't lying about their motives. They fought for states' rights to own slaves, and the whole thing really was just a lost cause in the end. Italians in 1796 when the best general in the world crosses the Alps to sack their country. Ah, murder, lo referimo. Norway will never give in to the Nazis. I would sooner go into exile than surrender, and would abdicate rather than recognize Quisling as prime minister. Collaborating with the Nazis was necessary. What we think people from the 14th century would be mind blown by. What they'd really be mind blown by. Spices. The Brits in every other history book. The Brits in Brit history books. Ancient Celts when the sun shines through their cool rock pile and the pig is ready for slaughter. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. How can people not care about the Library of Alexandria? Do they not care about all that lost knowledge? Point of view, you are in prison and suddenly you're released because you need to save the future King of England. You are the one from my dreams. King Henry IV. Britain asks Iceland to join the Allies. Iceland refuses. Britain invades. Iceland. How dare you? What everyone thinks Vikings looked like. How Vikings actually looked like. For Christmas I want a dragon. This is Conrad. How the fuck do you have this top secret number? Sears gave it to me. Everyone has this number. What color do you want your dragon? Red. First Japanese embassy to Europe 1582. You guys can touch my robes. Thank you. Philip II kisses him on the cheeks. UHH thank you. Arrives back in Japan 1590. The Europeans weren't savages and I think we should become Christian. No, you are all exiles now. Human civilizations when it comes to almost every topic throughout history. Humans, when it comes to agreeing on that music is awesome. Imagine being a farmer being dragged to war for 5 months, and then you see a motherfucker wearing this shit charging towards you. How do you like my plain American? Feel free to cower in fear over superiority. Holy fuck. Triple the research budget. More speed. Better guns. The F-15A then went to get a 104/0 kill death ratio. Admit that you are responsible for the United Kingdom or draw 25. Scotland. Finding out you're adopted. Why didn't you tell me? We were scared. Finding out you were adopted during Franco's reign. Who are my real parents? Please tell me. Overthrow the Iranian government. Cause a genocide in Guatemala. Overthrow a democratically elected government in Chile. Why does everyone hate the CIA? Hey, buddy. Eyes up here. No. Ruining the ancient culture by destroying pagan temples and statues. Saving the ancient culture by translating and preserving the work of pagan writers and philosophers. Fub. This one's looking at both of us at the same time. Christian church. Chattering. You and your friends are on a bear hunt. The tracks are going in the wrong direction. You left those families undefended. You can hear a woman screaming for it to spare her unborn child. The Germans. Stalin's son. Stalin. Do you have any better hostages? When someone realizes that paper is easier to carry than gold, and now you are in eternal debt. President Kennedy, do you know how to put men on the moon yet? NASA, no. President Kennedy. Be a lot cooler if you did. This war is hell, if only it was like the wars of the past where it was only about honor and short battles. 1 century earlier. Today I lost 80% of my platoon, and I had no other choice but to eat my horse to survive. Muhammad searching for another wife. 6-year-old Aisha. Fools with a time machine. Me with a time machine. For the love of God eat the fucking Lipitor. Where bust do? Lipitor 20 milligrams. Roman horse. Medieval horse. France calculating how much Germany should pay for the World War I war reparations. 248 plus 208 equals 4416. A Scandinavian person meeting one of their gods. Oh look. It's Frigga. I will aid you in battle and instruct you how to find a good mate if this is what you want. A Greek person meeting one of their gods. Oh look. It's Athena. Man, May 18th 1980, and what a gorgeous day. I sure am glad I woke up at the crack of dawn to hike up the summit. Commodian, formerly known as Roman, citizens in the Colosseum watching Emperor Commodus club an amputee to death the 100th time this year. Never ask a woman her age. A man, his salary. King Charles's favorite feminine hygiene product. McMannock on his way to becoming an ace. Only 2 more Huns to go, lads. When he sees what's inside the plane he shot down. There is no salvation for me. When you send the Sassanids 11,000 pounds of gold for an eternal peace, but they attack you while you're invading Italy. This has been the worst trade deal in the history of trade deals, maybe ever. Iran, we should adopt Esperanto as the official language of diplomacy. The French. No. Plan to invade Cuba and regain control. Don't provide enough support for the invasion. You lost, and Castro is a national hero. You lost, and Castro is a national hero. How can Xi Huang escape getting assassinated? Romans and their dogs. Welcome to your new family. 15 years later. I'm in tears while carrying you to your last resting place. European battle. Aftermath: entire kingdom conquered and royal family overthrown. 3 new religious sects formed and an entire culture is changed forever. Casualties. 24 levied peasants dead and Sir John of buttfuck nowhere upon Tweed twisted his ankle. Chinese battle. Aftermath didn't alter the status quo in the slightest and was lost to history for over 1,000 years. Casualties. Both armies of hundreds of thousands almost completely slaughtered, and every city in a 100-mile radius is laid waste. Mass graves are still being discovered. Julius Caesar. Genghis Khan. Me, which one is the greatest conqueror after Alexander the Great's era? Romans loses 40,000 human lives. A. You win some, you lose some. Rest in peace 40,000. Romans loses eagle-shaped lump of gold. Worst day of my life. Medieval European historians. The battle was so catastrophic and bloody, God has truly abandoned us. Army sizes. 1,000 and 1,200. Casualties. 47. 60-year-old military rifle in my head. 60-year-old military rifle in reality. Time travel expectation. How did you guys build the pyramids? I've got the blueprints right here. Time travel reality. How did you guys build the pyramids? What? I do not know what you are saying. Guards.